On today's DNVR Broncos podcast, we are debunking a blasphemous rumor that is out there. We're going to hit on that, talk about Bo Nix, and then we're going to rank the strength and weaknesses of the Broncos after the offseason and all the moves the Broncos have made. Fun show starting now. April Fools, and man, there's some stuff going around that we need to debunk, and we're going to do it on the DNVR Broncos podcast live from the Xfinity studio, joined by my guys, RK, Hank. We got Dion behind the camera, Zach rocking and rolling with you today. Fellas, do we love or hate April Fools?
Got to be the dumbest day of the year. I haven't laughed at an April Fool's joke since, I can tell you the exact year, is 1995.
Okay.
And
so you're 3 years old.
Yep. And my sister put a little bit of tape on the dishwash sprayer.
Yeah.
And it sprayed and hit my mom in the face. Yeah. Hilarious. Right. That was the last funny April Fool's joke.
Have you thought about doing that one on Allie?
I don't want to get into the details of why that wouldn't work.
Yeah, I remember my mom liked the banana peel thing, or just leave a banana peel somewhere. I don't think anybody...
Like on the floor?
I think at some point somebody...
To slip?
Yeah, it never really worked as well. But I was always a big April Fool's fan, but now it's just become the day you can't use the internet because the internet just sucks today. And that kind of killed the whole thing for me.
Yeah, the one that I heard of people doing growing up is you give someone, like, in your house coffee, but it's actually just olive juice.
What?
I'd never done it, but that was
like
kind of always a fun.
olive juice.
Yeah.
So it's dark.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, and you warm it up so it's like hot, like a hot coffee. Or I guess you could do it with cold coffee as well, and you could put the cream in it as well. And just that first, kind of like the spray one, just that first sip, man, the reaction would be good.
Yeah.
This is gonna sound really dumb. We've been getting some banana peppers in the house recently, throwing salads and whatnot.
Yeah.
The other day I just had a sip of the juice. Mm-hmm. Kind of addicted now.
It's so good. Have you ever had a banana pepper or peppercini?
Back on a shot?
Wait, are those the same thing?
They're similar.
Yeah.
I don't know if they actually
banana
are.
pepper feels like a Americanization of it.
Yeah, that's fair. Because of how do you guys even pronounce the other one?
Pepperoncinis?
I just say banana pepper.
I've heard pepperoncinis. Yeah. So maybe it's to help us. But a martini, but instead of the olive juice, you use that. It's so good. You got it. Especially now that you're just sipping the juice. Yeah.
Because I've had it where you like take a shot and then you take that.
Okay.
After it.
Yeah.
But usually pickle juice.
I have a similar hack, but it's using hot dogs. And when you put the hot dogs in the pan, I always just pour a little bit of like that hot dog juice in it. And I swear it makes it better.
Not the same.
But I mean, it's similar in some ways.
The hot dog juice is pretty gross.
But I think you put it in there with the hot dogs.
I love that you're making pan-fried hot dogs.
Oh, they're so good. They're so good. They're better, like, that is the best form of hot dog. It's just that nobody eats them because nobody's willing to eat a hot dog unless they're like outside in the sun.
Yes.
Yeah, I need those grill marks. Give me all the grill marks.
Yeah, but the pan singes the whole thing instead of just the...
That's true. That's true. I could be down for that. And Henry, I also agree with you. With this job, I now hate April Fools. Also, my wife hates it, so that's another reason to hate it. But why I hate it is there's like news is everywhere. Most of it's fake. Some might be real, so you kind of have to vet everything. And someone probably didn't vet something well enough today because there was a real story, I think, written on a real website, posted by a credentialed journalist who was literally at the owners' meetings yesterday. And they wrote a story that the Broncos have interest in bringing Aaron Rodgers in for a visit. And then in the very next sentence said, the Broncos have doubts that Bo Nix is going to be 100% by week 1 of the season. So like maybe you get duped on one thing, but then to put both of these things out, those are very serious things to put out there. And it didn't seem like an April Fool's joke. I think that person got April Fool's.
I was going to say, if you were the source and you wanted to pull an April Fool's joke, it's kind of believable. Like, hey, what they were saying at the owners' meetings is actually BS. Like, Bo's not going to be ready. And I think we're going to bring in Aaron Rodgers. Like, I think that would work, especially on a gullible reporter hearing it from a source.
Right.
Well, it did work.
Yeah.
It did work, and it went out. This is something that immediately the Broncos were like, oh, no, everything about this is false. Bo Nix is going to be healthy by week 1. In fact, he's going to be healthy.
He's probably healthy right now.
Exactly. He's probably 100% healthy right now, but he's going to be 100% healthy in a month from now. He's going to be healthy for the season. He's going to be healthy for every part of the season. And then the Aaron Rodgers thing, if this wasn't an April Fool's joke, the only thing that I can think of is it's Aaron Rodgers camp trying to get leverage somehow with the Steelers. And what a terrible team to choose in order to try to get that with the Broncos. Like, choose Mendoza with the Raiders. Choose someone that actually doesn't have like a top tier quarterback that they 100% believe in. Because I have heard that like Aaron Rodgers wants to be back with the Steelers. Wants like $35 million. The Steelers want him back on a deal he had last year at 13. So it's like, okay, I could see that there being a leverage play here.
He wants 3x what they were paying him last year?
Yeah, I believe so.
Based on what?
I think he had a better
playoffs.
year than he did the past couple years of his career.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Well, and then like you can't just lie if you're going to do that. Because like if you say he is going to, then the Broncos are just going to shoot that down.
Why not
like,
just
you have
say
to be
like
subtle.
several teams have reached out?
Right.
Yeah.
If you were trying to do it that way.
Yeah, 100%. And so who knows what it was, but completely false. And not that we even really needed to address it, but just because it's April Fool's and you're going to see that out there. And that account that posted that article, I think 45 minutes before they posted that article, they tweeted, "Beware, it's April Fool's."
Wow.
So either they were admitting that all of these are April Fool's jokes that they're putting out, or they just didn't follow their own advice of remembering it's April Fool's.
Yeah, that is crazy. I thought that Mike Kliss, because the first thing I saw was Mike Kliss's denial. I thought that Mike Kliss saw like a random graphic that like some obscure Twitter account put out.
And is that what you were?
Oh, yeah. You just assumed.
Oh, I didn't know. Okay, yeah.
And so then I was going to like make a tweet making fun of that and be like, like reports that the Broncos are trying to hire Tiger Woods as the team driver. Like,
my goodness.
That must be an April Fool's joke. Right, yeah. But then I realized it's not Mike's fault. He was just shutting down the other bad report.
Like the real report.
Yeah, someone actually
fake real report.
Right. Yeah, just a dumb day. Just a really dumb day. Even like a few years ago, I kind of enjoyed all this, but it just kind of sucks now.
So then what do you guys think of other April Fool's jokes like Von Miller posting on Instagram that he has signed with the Raiders?
Again, it's been 33 years since someone made a funny April Fool's. Wait, 31 years.
Yeah.
31 years since someone made a funny April Fool's joke.
That just sounds like such a challenge. Like you're just asking for somebody to do something to you.
I wouldn't mind. Like if you got me with a good one, I just wouldn't mind. But I just
you don't think it's possible.
I really don't.
Wow, that's really sad. I'm kind of right there with you. I'm going to bring back April Fool's somehow.
Yeah, I feel like Henry's going to try to
get
one
I feel like I've made it
Ryan.
too obvious, but just watch out next year.
It's kind of like I can't get scared at haunted houses.
Yeah. I remember the last time I got scared.
And like I want to, but like there's a thing in my brain that just like puts up a blocker. It's like we're not getting scared, and so then it's not fun for me.
Even like you don't even get like jump scared.
No,
like when the thing runs out with the chainsaw right at you.
Yeah, just on high alert.
That still gets me. Dang, Henry, I think you can get Ryan.
I think I can.
Please do.
I do think doing it in the next 13 hours is going to be tough.
Yeah, that's fair.
But
we have 365 days to think of it for the next time.
Eventually something's going to happen.
If you got me with like an elaborate one, like
I know.
that took you like 6 months to plan.
Right. Like
happy.
put the pennies in your phone case or whatever. So it's just like slowly getting heavier and take them all out on April Fool's Day. So that you're just like, what's going on?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I just realized you aren't actually on the phone. So you wouldn't actually hit yourself in the head with it.
Yeah, that reminds me of one time we were going on a hike and we were sneaking rocks into my friend's backpack.
How long did it take?
Pretty good.
All the way to the top.
Oh my gosh. Was it April Fool's Day?
No.
Just good clean
prank.
fun. Yeah. Oh my goodness. That's a good one.
That is.
Any other ones?
I can't remember. My mom did get somebody with that banana peel. I almost think it was me. I can't remember.
And actually slipped on it.
Yeah.
Your mom made you fall on the ground.
Yeah. Well, she always put them at the top of the stairs too, which is kind of like
Your mom was trying to kill you.
again, yeah. No, I can't remember. That's the only.
She's probably watching. I need to hear the story.
Probably true. Yeah.
Well, call in. We can do it.
It's true.
Nothing else to do.
Yeah, seriously. Well, we actually do have other things to do.
True.
We are going to rank the Broncos' strength and weaknesses, and also talk about some rule changes that have happened here with the Broncos, and maybe get to some other news coming back from the owners' meetings. And which one do we want to start with, guys? Strengths or weaknesses of the Broncos team?
I think strengths is always a good place to start.
Okay, start off on a good note. Let's hit the strengths of the Broncos coming up next.
If you love the NFL Draft, then this is your edge. The Die Hard NFL Draft Guide is built and based off of thousands of hours of film study, being boots on the ground, Shrine Bowl, Senior Bowl, Combine, talking to scouts, talking to coaches, really getting a feel for where these players are best going to fit and project in the NFL. And we're talking hundreds of players in this class. All right, so what are you going to find in the guide? Well, you're going to find player comps. You're going to find strengths, weaknesses, physical tools, analytics, highlights, analysis from all across the space, everything that you need to try and determine who are the best players for your team. You get access to the guide if you're a diehard, and you'll also get access to a couple of individual breakdowns I'm doing specifically for your team. All right, look, if you want surface level breakdowns, you can get them anywhere. But if you want independent thought, if you want thorough breakdowns on all of these prospects, become a diehard, get the guide. Or you can get access to the 2026 guide for just $26. Let's win draft season.
Shout out to our friends over at Game Time. I still haven't bought tickets for opening day, but I do check about 3 times a day, and they keep getting cheaper. They were like $100 to get in and got down to $80, and then down to $60 and back up to $80. $53 to get in the door.
There we go.
Starting to see a couple of deals too. $135 to be like, what's that? 8 rows up from the Rockies dugout.
Wow.
Have to convince the friends that it's worth spending an extra $50 to go see the Rockies, but is what it is. Game Time's the best, whether you're trying to go to a Rockies game, the Nuggets, the Avs. Football season will come back eventually, and they've got all that. Also, looks like Bruno Mars is coming to town. I thought he was in Vegas because of the debts, but I guess he's allowed out of Vegas now. Game Time is the best. It's where we go for tickets. You get to see a view from the seat. You get the whole map so you can see where all the tickets are and what the prices are. Ticket coverage, the low price guarantee. You can take the guesswork out of buying tickets of every type of event with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code DNVR for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Create an account, redeem code DNVR for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today.
And shout out to everyone tuning in with us on this April Fool's Day. Don't get fooled. We do have some fun comments in the Toyota chat regarding April Fool's. Tyson K says, last year my buddy made a vehicle listing under my name and contact for a crazy deal and boosted the ad. My phone was blowing up so bad that it froze multiple times for hours.
Oh
That's
my
tough.
gosh.
This must have been way too good of a deal.
That is like the line of like harmless joke. Like that's really annoying.
That is.
But like no one's really getting harmed.
Right.
But it's right up to the point where it's
Yeah.
like, dude, you're ruining my like entire day.
So you would not be happy with that one.
No, don't do that. But that's like the level that.
Okay.
You know.
I see Henry typing right now. Maybe he's doing that
Writing
exact
down
same
ideas.
thing for
Maybe.
you.
Maybe.
We also have Neem Dog who says, RK, how does your hair always look so luscious? I can't imagine that's an April Fool's.
Oh,
Day.
I hope-
April Fools.
No.
I hope he doesn't say April Fool's to that.
Just is, I guess.
Right.
Would have got me if so. Swarthy says, I think the best April Fool's joke was the Ravens pretending they wanted Crosby. what if today was the day where like the trade actually didn't go down, but everyone would think
like,
it's April Fool's initially, right?
Yeah, that's crazy.
No, Neem Doc says no April Fools, Ryan. Just love the flow right there.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
All right, so let's jump in to strengths and weaknesses. And Henry, you want to start with some strengths?
Yeah, well, I think it's interesting because like some teams it's super obvious. Like, what is the Chiefs' strength? It's just like they have Patrick Mahomes, and so if it's a close game at the end, they're gonna win. If it's a third down, he's gonna escape and like probably convert it. Then there are other teams like what are the Ravens' strengths? You know, what is their biggest strength?
Running.
Right. But it's Lamar, but it's also like Derrick Henry, and you could kind of put them together. But at the same time, the way they run, like Derrick Henry's best when you're just like under center running forward, whereas Lamar is like a scrambler. And so like the two of them together is like a read option isn't like a perfect fit in some ways. And so you almost like, they're almost like separate in some ways.
So we're not just doing like the offensive line as a strength.
Right. Put some thought into it.
We're diving in.
Put some thought into like what the strength is. And I think the reason it's interesting for the Broncos is because I don't know, like they don't have like a clear, like the Ravens, you at least go to those two. Like the Bengals, you're just like, oh, it's the outside receivers. They just win on the boundaries. But for the Broncos, I don't even know where I start. I have an idea, but I'm curious what you guys think.
I have an idea as well, but I'm curious what Ryan thinks.
I have an idea as well. I'm curious what Dion thinks.
Dion, what do you think?
How the tables have turned.
I think that downfield passing has to be a strength at this point.
That crossed my mind.
Yeah. I mean, you have a traditional deep threat in Jaylen Waddle and a kind of big guy deep threat in Cortland Sutton. You can't play either of those guys in single coverage. So to me, that makes that a strength. And that essentially means that you can't play single high. So that's the big strength. I think that's the first thing that a defensive coordinator is looking at when they're figuring out how to defend this defense is, how are we going to address this? Because we can't leave either of our corners on an island on either side.
I don't know that you're wrong, but then I go pass rush first.
Oh, I thought we were starting on offense. My bad.
I was thinking just like in general.
Okay.
Like what is the strength of the team? But I do think there's like a case we made, like JFM, but it is probably just a pass rush, and it is just that simple. And and it's not coverage, right? It's still pass rush first. It's not like run defense or anything. I think it's got to be pass rush.
So you guys are
but then offensively, yeah.
And that's very fair, but I think you guys are kind of hitting to what my biggest strength is for this team, and that's that there's no obvious weakness.
Oh, a twist.
And who said that?
Okay.
Some Chiefs fan was crying about this on Twitter yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
Because ESPN did a segment of like one big weakness for every team.
That was so good.
And they gave two big weaknesses to the Chiefs, and then the Broncos had said, no weaknesses found.
There was that Chiefs fan so
my
mad.
gosh, that is incredible.
Yeah.
That might be it.
Did they only give one to the Raiders and one to the Chargers?
I don't
too?
know. It was just an up-close picture of those two next to each other.
Oh my gosh,
Under
that
the
is
one
so
big
good.
weakness right above it.
So ESPN knows that's the truth as well. And also, like, we talked about the power rankings last week, but the Broncos in 90% of national power rankings are the first team in the AFC. They're typically like third behind the Seahawks and the Rams. And so that shows you that's not just us thinking that, that's the nation thinking that as well.
Gen X has a good point here, Zach, because they have no obvious weaknesses. That means the front office is their strength.
Oh, we go off the field.
Gen X, you make a good point.
I'm thinking more though, you're playing a game against them. You're the head coach of the other team. And you're like, oh no, we've got to deal with.
Yeah, it's close,
You know?
I think, between that pass rush and the receivers.
Right.
And I mean, Broncos too, this is kind of in the middle of what you're trying to say, Henry, is game-winning drives and comebacks.
I was
up
getting
there.
there. I was going to get there. It's Bo Nix's clutch gene is
Right.
absolutely a massive strength of the team.
I had that thought too and talked myself out of it. Because like, you still do have Patrick Mahomes. You still have Josh Allen, who I guess Bo was the one who actually won that game. So maybe you get to say like,
Josh Allen
Bo
threw
more clutch than
one
Josh
of the
Allen.
most
Right, I
obvious
know.
picks I've ever seen.
but like,
In clutch time.
is Bo so clutch? Like compared to other quarterbacks, does he rank highly enough to say like, this is what other teams are scared of most? Or is that like, because
No,
if he's
I don't
like
think-
top five in terms of that guy, or would you say like, well, the pass rush is just the pass rush?
I don't think teams think of it that way, where it's like peak Jokic and Murray, it was just like, well, don't get in a close game with these guys late because you will lose. I don't think teams think of that. Like, let's not get in a close game with Bo Nix.
Right.
And I hope that eventually they do.
You're close to getting that.
Yeah, I think you are.
At the very least.
I don't think, like, we used to talk about that all the time with Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
Like, you cannot leave it to chance. If you feel like you have a chance to score and there's a minute 20 left, like, you're better off taking 3 knees and going for it on 4th down than scoring with that 120 left.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't think we're there yet with Bo, but I think we can get there.
It could even be like by the end of September.
I think this year's when he solidifies it. And you know who I think believes that as well is Sean Payton, because Sean has done such a good job balancing the line of saying that, confidence is born in demonstrated ability. And he says that over and over again. So he says, like, yeah, Bo's way more confident than he was 2 years ago at the end of a game, because not just he's more confident because he's done it so many times, but also the team's confident in him. So they just believe that it's going to happen. But then he also reminds people, and he did it yesterday as well at the owners' meetings, that just because you won a lot of one-score games last year does not mean that is going to translate to this year at all. And so I think that's kind of a warning to the Broncos players themselves to just not get complacent there and to make sure that they do it again. But then if you do it 2 straight years, that's who you are. And you're going to be like that for the rest of your career, in my opinion. Patrick Mahomes did it 1 full year 2 years ago and couldn't do it a second year in a row. And in fact, it was like almost inverse. They were terrible in one-score games last year after being the best in NFL history the year before. So if Bo goes out and does that this year, then watch out. I mean, that's probably the Broncos' number 1 strength.
And I think the strategy for one-score games is not like expect to win all of those one-score games. It's just be in less one-score games because you're up by 2 scores.
Right.
Yeah. And then go 500 in those one-score games, and those are against the good teams. And you're only in 6 of those, and you go 8-2 in the others, and 3-1, and boom, you're 11-6, and you're in the playoffs.
Also, this is a side note that we might not have time for. What is the Chargers' biggest strength?
They look really good on paper.
Right. But I don't even know.
That's their biggest strength.
It can't be anything on the
season.
It can't be anything on the offense, right? And it's like, what about that defense? Is their biggest strength like their pass rush?
I think their literal biggest strength is Justin Herbert's arm strength.
I struggle with what it actually is. Like, you know what they want their strengths to be.
I just think about, like, when they beat us last year, it's because he made like 3 really crazy throws.
Right.
That's true.
Right.
Yeah.
Is it just Derwin? Like, you get to have Derwin somewhere and he can solve whatever your biggest defensive problem is every week?
It probably is regular season Justin Herbert.
It's Justin
probably
Herbert.
their biggest strength.
Regular
But
season
he raises
Justin
the
Herbert
floor
when they're not leading the division.
Like, Justin Herbert raises your floor enough that like you're just guaranteed confident passing, or like, because I don't think of him as like the guy I want in the 4th quarter. He's not the guy I don't want, but like I'd rather have Bo.
Yeah, no, I agree. Their defense too has been really good over the past couple of years. But to your point, Henry, it's not like because they have a dominant one unit.
Right.
I guess they don't really have weaknesses on their defense that much. At least in the past couple of years, they really haven't. That's a good point.
I don't even know.
D-Sab in the comments said, peak Jokic and Murray. We're peaking right now. I would say we peaked when we won the championship. I don't know if that's a hot take.
No, I think
we could go for a second peak, which would be great.
You're not, there's like the climb and then the peak, and then like you're not like far from the peak. Like, that's how mountains work, is there's peaks and little dips.
Yeah,
and then
I would just say like the current
there could be another peak.
6-game win streak is really great.
Right.
Not the peak.
When they both had those 30-point triple doubles in the finals.
Yeah, that was probably
like that was the peak.
Dang, that's crazy.
That is crazy.
Both
2 30-point triple doubles in a finals game.
That is wild.
Game 1, I think.
Oh my goodness. In terms of the weakness for the Chargers, Broncos too brings it up. Their fan base is probably their weakness.
Or the health.
For who?
The Chargers.
Chargers, yeah. It's their luck. It's their luck.
It's luck. It's playoffs.
Chiefs'
biggest strength is Rashee Rice's elusiveness.
Wow.
Biggest weakness is Rashee Rice's crimes.
What is the Raiders' strength?
Oh, God.
Like right now.
Jeez.
So I guess they're a different team than they were last year.
I think that's when we just have to go as simple as it's Brock Bowers. Or just, or no, it'd be Max Crosby.
Is it Max Crosby though, with everything
that
just happened?
Yeah. But I mean,
all
like
you
get to say like other teams you're going to have pass rush off this edge. Other teams aren't going to run to this edge. It's not a great strength to have because it's literally just one of the 11 spots. Like it's a lot better to be like, we have this awesome passing attack or like, but they're the Raiders and that's what they have.
It's just Brock Bowers.
I think their strength is the potential to land a franchise quarterback. And when you have the number 1 pick, you always have the potential. So this is nothing on Mendoza or not, but it's like they have the opportunity to potentially get that guy this year.
Everyone does.
But not like the Raiders. The Raiders have the best shot of teams that need it.
Right.
What a terrible strength.
And it's a terrible place to be right now. Maybe you could say a strength is they have a Kubiak in the building.
Nope.
No. Okay. Yeah, we've lost.
We could get there. Also, by the end of the year, we could be saying like Kubiak is a genius and he's going to maximize what they have.
I'm not going to turn this into a Nuggets pod, but D-Sab did have a good point that both players are having their best season right now.
That is interesting.
Statistically.
Yeah.
I would say like the Jokic Murray 2-man game though isn't having its best season.
I would agree. They're a weird team.
In the clutch, which is the point I was making.
Right, also, they haven't played together.
Exactly.
Like nobody's played for the Nuggets all year. So it's like, it's almost like nothing happened this season to me. And we're just going to show up and see what happens now.
Yeah. It is looking really good right now.
It is looking really good right now.
Would you say injuries are the weakness for the Nuggets this season right now?
Yeah. I think you could.
Or non-clutch.
Yeah.
Well, there's a reason.
We're doing strengths and weaknesses for everybody.
There's a reason that I bring that up is because on the other side, where would injuries rank for you guys, or like the chance of injuries for the Broncos? Because when I think about this, man, on one hand, you could point to the Broncos running game and say that is their strength on this team. Because when J.K. Dobbins is healthy, he's a top 4-3 rusher in the NFL. When he's not, that completely dropped off at least last year. So does the threat of injury, is that up there for you guys with this Broncos team?
For the running game.
But not for the team.
No, they got Bo Lowry.
It's true.
Yeah. I know, like, yeah, it's a weird part because it might just be JK's injuries. Because I'm not
Bo's ankle.
Bo says that it's not happening again.
What are we at? Like
JK says it's not happening
but
again.
But JK's been wrong about that repeatedly.
It's what I think we have a pattern. It's like once every 5 years, Bo gets a ankle injury.
Right.
Yeah.
So see in 2030
for the next.
We're
2030.
Perfect for what should be their peak.
So then he'll be fully healthy when the new stadium opens, if it does open in 2031.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's knock on wood and just hope.
We'll get to that in just a second. Well, let's actually look at the Broncos' weaknesses and continue to go back and forth on this because this is a fun conversation. That is coming up next.
Shout out to our friends over at Toyota. Ryan, I always forget. We pre-record these and then you guys see them later. As of now, I would imagine though, Ryan is in his Toyota somewhere. Yep. At least we hope he's in his Toyota. Yeah, but he has a great Toyota. There are all sorts of great Toyotas. I've never seen a bad Toyota. They've got the Tacoma, the Land Cruiser. If you're trying to get off-road or you're hauling or trying to get up into the mountains, 17 models available, all-wheel drive or four-wheel drive, like the 4Runner. They also have more low and zero-emission vehicles combined than any other automaker. You can get a bunch of different choices to reduce your carbon footprint. They actually have 16 different hybrid vehicles to choose from, like the Tundra iForce Max hybrid truck. Take command on the road and the trail, and the RAV4, the Grand Highlander. Visit your Front Range Toyota stores at a location near you. AutoNation Toyota, Arapahoe and Centennial, Corwin Toyota and Boulder, Groove Toyota and Littleton, Mountain States Toyota and Denver, Stevenson Toyota East, and Aurora Stevenson Toyota West and Lakewood. Toyota, official automotive partner of the NFL and the official vehicle of DNVR. Let's go places.
It feels like anytime you go out to eat now, you're dropping at least $15. Except when you go to our friends over at Taco Bell. They are making sure that they are still affordable, and it feels like a win with delicious food as well. And might I recommend the Crispy Chicken Crunch Wrap Slider. It's a warmed flour tortilla filled with premium all-white meat, marinated chicken, seasoned with bold Mexican spices, and tossed in a crunchy tortilla chip coating. Sounds fantastic, but that's not it, because they've got freshly prepared pico de gallo, 3 cheese blend, and creamy chipotle sauce, or jalapeno honey mustard Just amazing stuff over at Taco Bell, and it may be small in size, but it's big in flavor. They pack all of that into a slider, and it's perfect for the late nights or when those cravings just won't quit. The new crispy chicken crunch wrap slider. Go ahead, slide into something craveable, and go and live Moss at Taco Bell. Whether it's a slider, whether it's a full meal, they've got it all over at Taco Bell. Live Moss at Taco Bell. And shout out to everyone tuning in with us. Hit us with a thumbs up. Let us know what you think the strength of the Broncos is and get creative with it, and what the weakness is. And shout out to Leonard, who is in the Toyota chat and says, I'm about to buy a Toyota. My Jeep is junk and falling apart.
Strength of Toyota, that would never happen.
Yeah.
Right.
Sounds like a familiar story of someone on this show, actually.
It is true.
Yeah.
How about Pure Lapine with the super chat, who says, the strength of the pod is Ryan's stoicism, Zach's enthusiasm, and Henry's skepticism.
Wow.
Love you guys.
Wow.
I love that.
There we go.
We love you too.
I love it. We love you, Pure Lapine. Appreciate that. Okay, so Henry, what is the weakness of the Broncos?
It's tough. Like, you could just go with like J.K. Dobbins' health. So I would say like one of the Broncos' big strengths is the coverage on the boundaries. In particular, like they do a good job. Like you think even like Jaquan, those outbreaking routes is always doing a good job. We talked about like the edge rushers are good at dropping, which funnels a bunch of things to the middle. And so middle of the field coverage could be a weakness, but I also think that it's just a thing that happens a lot when you're doing really well on the boundaries. But middle of the field coverage could be something. Like size up front defensively, but that has only ever come up against the Bills because they have like the biggest offensive line in football. It's the only time it's ever mattered. And so I'm not concerned about it except for that.
Bo Nix's clutch factor outweighed it.
That's true. That is true.
And some other good stuff.
You could just go penalties and drops.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Those are probably
those
are probably top of the list.
When you were saying the
Great
outside
call.
boundary coverage, that did make me think of the penalties that Riley racked up.
Right.
The offensive line racked up some penalties. Penalties probably up there.
That's a really good one. And I think that a lot of coaches can live with like aggressive in-play penalties.
Yeah.
But when you combine those with even just a few pre-snap penalties and, stuff that's self-inflicted,
Yeah.
then it just becomes a problem. So that's a good one. Drops, I think, certainly were a weakness last year.
Yep.
Like,
Are they a
what-
weakness this year?
Was it the second most drops?
Depends on where you look, first or second.
First or second? Well, they got a new quarterback coach who's going to teach him, or wide receiver coach who's going to tell him to catch the ball like this. So that's a plus.
Also,
If
what about
only the last guy would have said that just once.
I know. Broncos would be in good shape.
passing over the middle has been a weakness.
It should.
Jaylen Waddle
longer
should
be.
make it better. I'm not sure if I'm willing to say, like, I'm certainly not willing to say it's a strength for them, but
Yeah.
I'm not convinced that it's a weakness.
It's a weakness that has been addressed.
Right. It's like, it's a low ranking weakness for me because I think there's a chance that it might be over.
Daniel Sepp brings up a really good one, the tight end production, which
Right.
at this point last year, I thought that was eliminated with Evan Ingram. I do think it's going to be better. Maybe it's false hope, but I'm a believer that Davis Webb is going to help unlock Evan Ingram. But based off of last year, Daniel Sepp, you're right.
Where did the Broncos rank in terms of tight end receiving yards last season?
Interesting. I can figure that out.
I think
Mike-
very close to last.
Okay, I'd be interested to know.
Yep.
There's a part of me that thinks that maybe everyone who doesn't have Travis Kelce, George Kittle, or Brock Bowers thinks that their tight ends suck.
Yeah,
do
that's
wonder.
that's very fair.
It also factors into middle of the field passing. That might just be a larger category that includes, like tight end is usually a big piece of that.
Yeah, that's very fair. Also, people saying JK's health. Yeah, that's a massive thing. Broncos.
It is.
Broncos are in the Super Bowl if JK not only like stays healthy, but is just injured for one fewer game. Like if he plays in the AFC Championship game, I think the Broncos still win that and they're in the Super Bowl. Now, probably lose without Bo Nix, but like that is how important JK
Well, if he
Dobbins
just gets
health
back
is.
2 games sooner, it changes the entire matrix, and Bo Nix never gets hurt.
That's a very good point. And then we might be talking about Super Bowl
Although he
chance.
was predisposed, according to Sean.
True.
Yesterday, Sean was asked about Bo's health at the very, very end. And I thought Sean missed out on an incredible opportunity to just be like, I can't talk about his health.
Yeah, HIPAA.
But instead, Sean gave us the good news that he is going to be full go for the start of off-season programs, which starts in 1 month and 3 days from now.
All right. Unless they bring in Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, exactly. Then you'll need to get things rocking and rolling much sooner.
Did we get that?
I'm downloading the spreadsheet, which I will then sort.
Wow, we're doing a lot here.
Yeah.
Downloading spreadsheets, sorting them all.
Henry's kind of like my AI for football statistics.
Right, because AI
can't do it.
Yeah.
But like I just throw something out and then I just see Henry just go. Few moments later, he's got it.
How about this one? Defensive depth. Now, not everywhere, but the Broncos lost pieces that impacts the depth a little bit. So JFM, that's a starting position, but then the depth at defensive line gets a little bit worse. By losing Dre Greenlaw, you lose depth there to the extent that now they're going to have Jonah Ellis play some inside linebacker. And then at safety, you lost PJ Locke, who was a really good depth piece. But it's not everywhere because I love the depth at cornerback. I still like the depth at defensive line, but you're just one fewer there because of JFM. And the depth at inside linebacker, at least as of right now, is a question mark right now. But it is depth, so it's not a major weakness.
And I also have to give the benefit of the doubt to the front office that they're going to be able to fill that and have it sorted before the season starts, because last year it wasn't a problem whatsoever.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it wasn't. It wasn't. So, and also, as Sean Payton said, he said he's not happy with where the team's at right now because he's never happy with where the team's at, but he's excited for the draft that comes in a couple of weeks.
It's easy to forget that Pat Surtain missed 4 games and the Broncos went 4-0.
That's very easy to forget. You're right. Yeah.
So, yeah, they did a great job last year of having a well-rounded roster that could withstand hits just about anywhere.
They did.
Do we have the answer?
I'm uploading it into the internet now. We shall see soon.
Oh, so you are consulting.
Yeah, I decided it was easier because you could go through and add the teams. So best I was able to get was a list of tight ends individually receiving stats. There was no way to filter. I was hoping I could get
There's no way to get Adam Troutman's 137 yards in there.
Right. Oh, they want me to upload differently. We'll get it.
All right.
Yeah.
And I mean, as Just Talking Sports says, the outside linebacker depth is incredible. Like, it's so good that they are moving Jonah Ellis to partially inside in order to open up reps for Q Robinson because their depth goes like 5 or 6 deep at that spot.
Yeah, I meant to say this yesterday, but I was thinking about the Jonah and Q Robinson thing. To me, it feels like Jonah is like a 78 overall star dev in Madden right now, and Q is like a 72 overall superstar. And they're just like, the only way we can get him up there is to give him more reps.
And then what is Jonah when he moves inside?
I don't know.
Then they don't know.
Yeah.
And they're going to find out.
We are going to find out.
How do you guys feel about that a day later? Still the same?
I feel the same. I mean, Henry had a lot of great points that make it sound good. So
right.
I'm as being me, I'm optimistic that it could work out, but there's too many scars to be confident.
That's fair, but he does have the blood. He's got the off-ball linebacker blood.
Yes, he does.
Both of his brothers.
Yes.
Beasts.
Yes, and as I said to Henry, like, I have no doubt he'll put in all the work necessary to be prepared.
That's very true. That's very true. Henry, we got an update?
It is slowly typing it out.
Oh my gosh.
Kansas City first at 14-25. I'm going to go through and double check a couple of these.
We are really getting it right here.
So Broncos had 760, tied with Miami. A lot of round numbers, but some of them aren't.
They're kind of in the middle?
In front of the Titans, Colts, Saints, Steelers, Browns, Commanders, Panthers, Tampa, Chargers, Bears, Jets, Texans, New England. I wish they would have ranked these. I wish I could have said a number.
So
middle of the pack.
Cade Otton, who got paid more than Adam Troutman, was a less productive tight end room.
He's part of our less productive tight end.
Part of it, exactly.
Yeah, that proved my theory. It was worth all of Henry's work.
It was.
There's a huge cliff at the tight end position.
Mm-hmm.
You either have a real guy or you're just kind of with the pack. And so I don't think it is a weakness. I think it's just mid.
Right.
Yeah. It's true. And Sean Payton, man, he talked about Adam Troutman yesterday. He absolutely loves everything that Adam Troutman does. So it was a no-brainer in their eyes to bring him back. Just like it was the same with not Drew Sanders, Alex Singleton and Justin Sternad.
So I thought of a different way to do it that took me about 20 seconds this time. And those numbers were wrong. So Broncos are actually 26th.
Okay.
719.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay. That's better to be a weakness.
Yeah.
And who's first?
How far are the Broncos from the middle?
Broncos.
Wait, you can answer.
I want to change it one other way because I might
shout
have
out
just
True Media.
Yes. First of all, shout out StatHead, who sometimes is really good at stats. It's kind of like they're good at some things. True Media is good at other things. True Media was the way we should have gone here. And okay, no, I did do it right. First is the Cardinals, Trey McBride, of course.
Trey, Colorado.
And then the Bills, and then the Raiders, of course, Brock Bowers. Rams, Bears, 2 tight ends.
Yeah.
Steelers, Browns, Chiefs, Patriots, Saints.
Okay. What's the
49ers also at 1,000 yards.
Who's in the middle?
So Broncos had 719 to get to the middle. They needed 880 or so.
So it still kind of aligns with my theory that there's a big gap between the upper tier and the rest of the league.
Here's the thing, though, is Evan Ingram can easily get, 120 more yards, 150 more yards in order to get to the middle?
Just hold on to the ball.
I expect him to do that, too.
Yep, just don't drop the ball, and you have that pretty
He's going to
easily.
be so open. He's going to be so open.
Yeah, Waddle's going to open that up big time.
Yep.
And then we're going to get to see what Benny's been talking about since we signed him, which is his run after the catch ability.
Yeah.
Which I think is up there with any tight end in the league.
I completely agree. And we saw it in the preseason game when he catches it and then goes 80 yards for the touchdown. I think he's going to quietly have a big year for the Broncos. And I think it's going to be quiet because I think expectations are going to be so low. And Jaylen Waddle's going to go off. Cortland Sutton's still going to have a good year. And you're just going to see Ingram go for 700 yards on his own.
That'd be huge.
It would be. And then we're talking about probably 1,000 yards for the tight end room right there. 900 or something, above average.
Yeah.
It also just depends on whether they put him on the field. Like, that's the other piece. That's why, like, Ingram himself won't rank super highly, but the room might look a little bit better just because, like, he was hardly on the field. So, like, Adam Troutman's picking up catches here and there. But even that was only, like, a couple hundred yards, I guess. But Evan just shouldn't be 47th in snaps among tight ends.
Right.
He only missed one game.
Yeah. The other thing, when we talk about penalties, guys, because, man, it felt like every single week on Sean Payton's Monday morning press conference, he was pissed off about the penalties, said how much he needed to correct them. I wonder if him not being the play caller is going to allow him to focus on that more and come up with more ways to try to eliminate penalties or more ways to punish people if they continue to commit penalties. Because that is something that really pissed him off last year, was those penalties. Yeah. And I would think that not being the play caller is going to free him up to help correct that. You bring those penalty numbers down, and that's probably how you get out of all these one-score games, is you stop self-inflicting having
self-inflicted penalties.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And then you're beating teams by 10, and then you don't have to worry about being as good in one-score games.
Yeah.
Great point again. Yeah. Well, I feel like every time the one-score game thing comes up, it's just everyone assumes the Broncos are going to be in 12 one-score games again.
Yeah.
That is true. So what did we decide the strengths were?
The strengths were everything, and the weaknesses were nothing.
Pretty much.
Sounds like a good team. There we go.
Strengths were downfield passing, pass rush, and Bo Nix's clutch ability.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. Yeah.
Oh, front office. We're going big picture.
Big picture.
Lack of weaknesses.
Ownership.
Play design.
Ownership, might be number one.
Fan base.
Yep, fan base.
Right.
Broncos had the fourth highest attendance
percentage
in the league last year. No, number.
Okay.
Percentage is always weird. It's like the Cowboys are probably like 104% or something because they just have the standing room tickets.
That's true. Let's get that to 1 though. Maybe it's not possible.
We can't.
It's not. It's
not.
76. Who has the biggest stadium? It's got to be an old one, probably.
I think it's the
outside of the
Cowboys.
Cowboys. Yeah, because they've got the crazy.
Who does?
Maybe Arrowhead.
Maybe
feels really big.
I would love if the Broncos' new stadium they just went 100,000.
I don't think.
No, they won't
They
because
could
stadiums
sell it,
are going
yeah.
the opposite way.
They definitely could sell it.
They would sell so many tickets.
Yeah.
Like you would get so many people from all over who'd be like, wait, I can get into this game for $40.
Yeah.
And those are the people who are just going to be up at the top screaming the entire game,
I know.
which is what you want.
I'm kind of hoping they do something along the lines of like the wall that they did in for the Clippers.
Yeah.
Or they had it at Tottenham too. Just that south stand be one giant stand instead of, tiers.
And it does feel like that orange thing they do in the south stands now is like a precursor to something like that.
That would be so nice. I mean, like 80,000 as Daniel Sepp throws out, that would be awesome. But the reason why stadiums are going smaller is because they are putting more premium seating in, which means more clubs and suites. And a reason for that is every stadium, when they sell their games, half of the money goes to the league and then is shared, or all of the money from the seats is shared among all 32 teams. So you don't get to keep all of your own money. It's all shared, except the suites. The suites, you get to keep 100% of your own money. So this really incentivizes teams to put way more suites in and have way fewer normal seats for the people. And so when you take out all of those seats and you put in suites, that's how the stadium goes from 75,000 to 55,000.
Nothing better than policies that suppress the middle and lower class.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
I know. But
Exactly
that's the thing, like,
what it is.
I think just think about if we had this room and there's a stadium right there and we just wanted to fit a normal amount of fans in here, it could fit quite a few fans. If you turn it into one suite or two suites, then all of a sudden instead of like 100 or a couple hundred people all like sitting in here, all of a sudden it's room for like 30.
Also, I'm just going to say it. Suites for football games suck.
Yeah.
I've never been.
It's like I'm like grateful of all the times I've been able to go and anyone who's invited me to do that. It's not as cool. Straight up. It's just not as cool. It's a great experience. It's cool. It's luxurious. It's easy to get a drink. All of that. That's nice. I want to just be with the people, going crazy.
You don't want a chill vibe.
And you almost sometimes feel like yelling in the suite is like if you were to just yell at work, like everyone would be like, whoa, calm down, bro. We're inside. But like suites at an Avs or a Nuggets game are great because you're still in the crowd. There's no glass separating you.
Yeah.
Even if you open the windows, it's just not the same. Like, so yeah, that also bums me out. It's just football games, you're meant to just be out in the elements.
I know. And that's where I also just hate that those people, the people who would not yell, should not be at the football game. Like I want them, not only do I want like normal people instead, I also would just say, don't invite them. Like if you're just going to sit there and be quiet and wear your polo and drink your fancy drink that costs you $80, like just go home. We don't want you.
Last time I was in the stands, I had people behind me who were upset about us standing up.
Yeah.
And that just kills me.
Wow.
As long as it's not an old person. That's the only line. I know your take.
I just don't know where the line is on that.
Like what's old
Yeah.
for a football game?
It's just if the person is capable of standing, there is no reason for them to be upset about having to stand.
But capable of standing and being able to like launch out of your seat like me.
Right.
It's very different.
But then there are also lines where it's like capable of standing on third downs, capable of standing for the entire game, capable of standing for big plays in the fourth,
Yeah. I personally think like
I went to a lot of football games.
Remember yesterday when you were talking about what it would be like if I was president of the Broncos?
Wow. Yeah.
One of my policies would be like, we're standing the whole game.
There are no chairs.
Take the seats out.
There are no chairs. Yeah.
There are no chairs. Wow.
There's like kind of like bar tops that go around the whole stadium where you could set drinks and food and stuff, but no seats.
That's
Okay.
where
And you can lean over if you want.
Yeah.
Like lean on them.
when I was at the soccer game on Saturday, everybody's like standing up and all the like for the beginning and the introductions and all that. And then as soon as they kick off, everybody sits back down. I was like, well, I thought this was soccer and everybody's excited. There should be more standing at sports, which is why our Nuggets season tickets that we share, we're in the back of the section. So we can just stand the whole game.
Yeah, that's nice.
It is really nice. And at times we're like, wait, if we get to the front, then we're on like this overhanging balcony. It's like, no, if you're in the third row, then you can just stand there and there's nobody behind you.
But it feels weird standing when no one else is.
Have a couple beers.
Because at the Nuggets game, when they score their first basket, then you can sit down.
Right.
Do you not sit?
Oh, it just kind of depends. Like, it's always like a stand and yell, but sometimes it's just nice to be like standing and watching instead of like I still like sitting.
Also, a couple teams have figured this out, but it's crazy that it hasn't gotten universal adoption yet, which is it should be stand until the other team scores, because then the longer it lasts, the cooler it gets.
You're right.
Rather than right now, where it's like if everyone ends up standing for like 4 minutes at the beginning of the game, everyone gets really restless. There's like this hush around the arena where people are.
Yeah.
It's also deflating when it happens. So like the thing about standing until your team scores is that it ends with like a cheer. It's like, yeah, you did it. But then if you're standing until the other team scores, like it's still fine. Like if it takes them 2 minutes to score, it's still awesome. But if they just go down and score right away, like Kawhi just immediately hits a 3-pointer and everybody's like, oh, and we all sit down.
That's fine.
It's deflating. Like you just gave that guy a moment. He sat the entire stadium.
You gotta bet on your own defense.
Okay.
In basketball, it's guaranteed to happen every game.
It's true.
It's almost guaranteed. Nothing's a guarantee.
So that was a really fun conversation. There were some rule changes that happened at the NFL annual league meeting. Henry, which one stood out to you?
So big news to me. First of all, the Jags. Jags going to Orlando, investing like $1 billion into their stadium. And so they have to like go somewhere else for at least a year while they do the thing. Okay. First of all, means like doesn't seem like they're moving to London.
Yeah, no, they're not. They're building a new facility, but then have you guys seen what they're doing with their stadium? Can you picture what their stadium looks like now?
No, I actually didn't look.
Nope.
Big, open, bland as can be stadium that they thought they'd make really cool by putting one pool in. That didn't make it really cool. So what they're doing is they are
the entire stadium a pool.
Yeah, exactly. They are putting a dome on, or an open dome on the stadium. So kind of like SoFi, where it's like still open air, but it's like fully covered. So this season, they're going to have reduced seating capacity. Next season, as Henry said, 2027, they're going to play in Orlando when they put the dome over this stadium. And so they're kind of doing like a big renovation to the stadium. I think it cost them like $500 million instead of, the $5 billion, $6-7 billion that the Broncos stadium will cost.
Are they going to play at UCF?
I actually don't know.
Camping World. Is that UCF?
Yeah, it is Camping World.
I don't know. They just call it the Bounce House.
Probably got to be UCF.
I mean, if not, UCF should be there. If there's a stadium.
It could be like Orlando FC or something. So the Chargers did.
That would be crazy.
It is UCF. Okay.
Fast with me.
And you've been there?
No, I missed that one. Unfortunately, it was a sick win for the Buffs. But I was at a wedding. Yes. But I've heard it's a cool stadium.
Okay.
Yeah. It's interesting.
Man, you talk about just a fan base that's hanging on for dear life, and you're doing this to them.
Yep.
That is tough.
Yeah.
Playing at a college stadium.
I mean, now you're even smaller market,
small
right?
Small market vibes.
Well, Orlando would be a bigger market. I think.
Orlando? They're too far to be the same market, technically, right? It's like Bay Area is all one market.
I don't know much about
markets. I think it's an hour away.
Isn't that your thing? Your job?
Markets?
Yeah.
That is true. I know. I do know a lot about those markets.
What I'll tell you about Jacksonville, it's the biggest city in America in terms of land mass.
I did know that.
Weird.
Which is kind of crazy that it is a small market.
Yeah.
Henry's looking up the details.
People in the comments are saying it's not UCF.
It's not UCF apparently.
Wow, Dion.
Used to be.
Yeah, like it's weird.
Until 2006.
Yeah.
So who plays there now?
Yeah, who put?
No one. It's like a neutral site.
Because I feel like they have a bowl game there.
It's bowl game,
Yeah.
Citrus Bowl, Pop-Tarts Bowl, Cure Bowl have all been.
Right.
That's not going to last.
Interestingly,
Yikes.
Puerto Rico is all one market, the number 13 market in the U.S., right in between Miami and Seattle.
Wow.
More importantly, Jacksonville is the number 50 market at 1 million people.
Okay.
Orlando is the number 38 market, 1.3 million.
Wow, they're
moving to a bigger market.
You think if the Broncos play them in 2027, Sean will correct?
What's Denver, like 17?
Denver is 2.1 between Tampa and Pittsburgh. Kind of interesting.
That is interesting.
Yeah.
I would have thought way bigger than Tampa.
These are radio markets, which I assume are the same as TV markets also.
Wow.
I would imagine.
I don't assume that.
I hope the Broncos play the Jags in 2027 on the road because that would end up being a home game for the Broncos.
TV markets generally include a wider area.
Oh, so we have a new updated list.
This could be so sad for the Jags if all of a sudden they're no longer
now
moving to a larger
a
market.
big radio market.
Our bigger radio market. That'd be so sad. Orlando is number 15. It also includes Daytona Beach and Melbourne. I'd imagine there's a Melbourne in Florida.
Yeah, yeah, I would think so.
Jacksonville, number 41. So they are still moving up. A significant jump.
What's Denver then?
Denver is number 32. They call it the Denver Castle Rock market.
Oh, that's a big debate we had one time in the Slack here.
Right.
About whether or not Castle Rock is part of the Denver metro area.
Just depends on whether you're a TV guy or radio guy.
You know, it's so messed up. You're going to hate this one, Ryan. Even I think it's total BS. Is the Denver metro area includes Fort Collins.
That can't be true.
It is. It is. Like legally, it includes Greeley, Fort Collins, goes all the way up north. I don't know if it includes Boulder, but I mean, I'm a Fort Collins guy, and I even think like that's ridiculous.
Yeah, if you said like, oh, I live in the metro area.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, cool. Like, send me your address, and it was in North Fort Collins.
I'm telling you, I was shook by it.
95-minute drive.
Yeah, exactly. Wow. So then Castle Rock for sure would be included in that, I'm sure. All right.
My only case on this is like driving to Castle Rock feels like you have 100% left Denver.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, you're basically in Arizona.
So I'm just going off of vibes.
You're packing a lunch or something.
Yeah.
We got some super chats to get to. We've got one from Greg6682 says, Kutch for Hank for
Heart and Art.
Kutch for Heart
Cooch.
and Ark. Cooch for Heart and Art. Hopefully we're not doing that one thing that,
so
Houston Texans
be a good
reporter
one.
got
Heart and Arter trophies. We're getting ready to record Jeopardy.
So he's a Kucherov fan.
Yep, Kucherov. The Heart and the Art.
Wow.
The Art Memorial
that
and
was
the
deep.
Art.
Okay, yeah.
Yep.
There we go. Thank
Go
you
Avs.
for that. Yeah, go Avs.
We were just talking about Florida.
Yeah.
Right?
Neem Dog says, every day is April Fool's Day if you're a Raiders fan.
Yeah, you're just a fool.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, the Raiders have fooled me a couple of times. I remember when I thought that Josh McDaniels was going to turn it around when he took their job.
I feel like someone around here was also high on the Pete Carroll, Geno Smith reunion.
I think all of us, I'm including you, Ryan.
Nope.
I thought that Pete raised their floor.
Okay.
I
Potentially.
can't remember what I thought.
Oh, you thought that too?
Did I?
I think we all thought he raised their floor.
Yeah, I think that would have been a fair
sounds
thing
like-
to
And
think.
we were fools.
I can't.
Literally, they got the #1 overall pick with Pete.
It is crazy that he doesn't age. I think
No.
if he did, it would
Right.
make you think he's got to be too old for this
Right,
at some point.
right.
But he looks the
Right.
exact same as he did the entire time in Seattle. So you're like, that's the same guy.
He's done though, right? Like,
Gotta be.
yeah.
Yeah, he's now returned to USC as a business school commencement speaker.
That's not I don't think that's a job.
That's not a full-time job?
That's what a 1 hour job.
He's on, they've got him on, what's the retainer?
You're right.
Yeah.
Right. Just whenever they need a commencement speaker.
That is wild. Did you guys see what Aaron Glenn said about Geno Smith?
No.
I think he said something along the lines of he's
He's going to take us to the promised land.
yeah.
Oh,
Does that mean the #1 pick?
Could be, yeah.
right.
Or it's the Meadowlands is what he meant.
Oh, that could be what he meant.
He's not lying about that.
Yes.
He's going to take them there.
Right.
Yeah.
That must have just been a mental mistake. He meant the Meadowlands.
He's got his CDL and he's going to drive the team across over there.
The Jets are in just disaster. I mean, you want to talk about weaknesses? We could spend a month talking about their weaknesses.
Right.
Yeah.
Just like we could spend a month talking about the Broncos' strengths.
Right. There are a lot of strengths.
There are a lot of strengths. This was a fun show.
It was.
Yep.
I think my favorite show of the week so far.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm
Yeah.
happy to see you guys. And
Yep.
I just got to tease what you guys have coming up. This Friday, is a very fun show planned. You're not going to want to miss it. So tune in to that one. Got a show tomorrow as well. But tune in before you come down to Coors Field to join us out for a very, very fun day for Rockies opening day. We appreciate everyone tuning in with us, and we will see you tomorrow on the DNVR Broncos podcast.
God bless Bo Nix.
We all silly like the mayor.